Welcome back to a bonus episode of Big Business. If you aren't aware, I come out with 2 episodes every single week. We've got our main episodes and then these little bonus ones, just little short snippets, easy to listen to, just to give you more content. For today's bonus, I am going to answer a question that I got in my DMs. If you don't know, I have a business podcast Instagram account, like Big Business Podcast Insta, and it is monitored by myself and producer Xander as well as April, and we check the DMs every day. So if you ever have a question that you would like me to answer on the pod, please slide into my DMs there. We check them every day, and then we've just got this massive board written down with everyone's questions. So we're like saving them for a rainy day. So if we don't get back to your DM, please know we definitely see it, and I usually save it for an episode. So let's just get straight into one of these questions. I don't know if I'm just going to do one. I might do another if this ends up not being long enough. Do you get people who complain about the quality of your products? If so, does it put doubt in your mind? This is a great question. And yes, we absolutely have people who complain about the quality of your products. I wouldn't say that I would like to use the word complain. I think you can call something a complaint if it's, I guess, not true, or if they're just complaining for the sake of it. But I think if someone is coming to us complaining about the quality, I don't ever really see it as a complaint. I see it more so as feedback. And I think that's really important when you are starting a business, maybe you're just starting out, or even if you're like me and you're so many years in. I think it's important to be receptive to feedback always. And just because, I've been running Fate for over 7 years now, it doesn't mean that our product is perfect. It doesn't mean that our service is perfect. Like, we are so open to feedback, and we're also open to the idea that we are not perfect. We can always improve, even if we, think that we're nailing everything on the head. That is so not true. And I think it's really important as owners and founders that we are okay with the fact that we aren't perfect. Like, I'm not the perfect brand. I'm not the perfect boss. I'm not the perfect manager. We don't have the perfect product. Do I absolutely try to make all of those things perfect? Absolutely. And am I willing to try to make those things perfect when there's areas for improvement? 100%. So to answer your question, do you get people who complain about the quality of your products? Yes. And if so, does it put doubt in your mind? I don't think it puts doubt in my mind. If anything, it just pushes me to improve. The last thing I want to do is be a business owner that says, oh, well, too bad if you don't like the way our jeans fit or the fabric of our linen pants, because I just think there's always room for improvement. And I think that's one thing that I really pride myself on as a founder is I'm so open to people giving me their honest feedback, whether it's from the fit, the feel, the fabric, how something has washed, how something has worn after a couple of wears. And I only want to continue to improve the way that we do things. And there's been so many times over the years where we've had people come to us saying they weren't happy with whatever it may be, the quality, the fit, the feel, the way it washed. And then we take that information, we collect all of this type of information. Like, we have massive boards with like all of our product feedback and complaints. Like, I feel like that's a really bad word to use, but we collect all of our feedback and then we report on if we're noticing any inconsistencies that keep happening. Like, if a button keeps falling off a certain item, we're going to keep track of that. So really, we use customers' feedback on our products to better them. And, if we're receiving enough feedback about something, it'll obviously set off an alert in our minds that will make us be like, all right, we're getting this continuous feedback from this item. Like, let's take a further investigation into what is going on. Like, why does this fault keep happening? Or how can we improve the quality of this item? So yes, we get complaints, but I don't really see them as complaints. I see them as our customers, hopefully, wanting to give us genuine feedback. And I think it also comes down to how the feedback is given to us. If someone's coming at us in the emails, just yelling at us and, not giving us feedback that's overly productive, then of course I'm going to see it differently in comparison to someone just reaching out, that's the way that it is most of the time. Like, we have the best community and the best customers. If someone reaches out to us as a business going, hey, I just wanted to flag this quality issue or this sizing issue. I think this is wrong. I noticed this fault. And I just wanted to let you know, like, we absolutely appreciate that. And I only want to continue making every single product of ours better. And we've changed so many products over the years. We have a lot of products that we've had for many years in Fate, but those products themselves have evolved and changed to improve the quality or improve the fit over the years. And that's what I absolutely want to do. Obviously, you want to improve everything for your customers. So that's how I kind of approach complaints or negative feedback. And it definitely doesn't put doubt in my mind. That was part of your question. It doesn't put doubt in my mind at all. If anything, I think it just inspires me to keep bettering all of our products, but also like our service and everything, our systems. Like, businesses are never perfect and there's always room for improvement. So try not to see complaints about quality as a bad thing. I think more oftentimes than not, especially if you're a smaller business, it will be coming from a good place from the customer, and take it as a learning curve and look at your products and think, how can I do this better? Because at the end of the day, I can't speak for other business owners, but I know for myself, all I want to do is like keep making better products so people will love them even more. And I'm okay with the fact that our products aren't going to be perfect for everyone, and I can only, try my best to make them more amazing for everyone in the future. Okay, I'm just going through my list of questions here and sticking to the same theme of products. How do you keep up with ever-changing fashion trends? This is a great question, and my answer to that is with ease. But I think the reason why I can say that we keep up with trends with ease is because I don't necessarily think that we as a brand really jump on trends. Number one, I don't know how fashion brands come out with things so quickly. We'll see a trend rise on social media, and within the month or something, like, every brand's coming out with their own version of that. I have no idea how they do that. Like, I can't imagine it to be overly ethical to be able to produce something so quickly. And I've done lots of other episodes where I've talked about the timeline of making something from start to finish. I think there's a whole other episode on it. I can't remember exactly when it was or what it's called, but we don't have the capacity to jump on a trend as soon as it comes out. If something comes out and it's trending now, give me like 6 to 12 months and we can make our own version of it. But we're not the kind of brand that wants to jump on a trend anyway, because I feel like trends die as quickly as they come up on our feeds. You know what I mean? And so I think what we do more so at Fate is, number one, we listen to our community, and that's where we get a lot of inspiration for what we come out with. We've also been in business for so long now, and we've made so many like core styles that we have like all of our best sellers that we just make again and again and again. And we might do new colorways in our best sellers, or we might do like a modified version of a bestseller. Like, we've got like a pretty big catalog, if that's what you want to call it, of products that we've made over the years. And obviously we've tried and tested over the years, and we've figured out what our core styles are and the ones that we know that we can keep bringing back in a new color or a new print. So that definitely makes it easy for us. And at the end of the day, especially now, like, who knows, like, the style of our brand might change as the years roll by. But so far, throughout the life of Fate, we've just always been about creating, I guess you could say, those capsule wardrobe basics, pieces that will never really go out of style. I would never want to like try to jump on a micro trend that everyone's going to get over in 5 seconds. What we make is just timeless pieces. We've got something for everyone as well. Like, I love being in our stores and seeing, girls come in, they've got their mum with them. We've kind of got something for everyone, from, something special to wear out to a special occasion, to all of your like basic best workwear. And I think that has made our job really easier as well, because I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to work in such a fast-paced environment where you're like jumping on trends. How do we keep up with the ever-changing fashion trends. I feel like we don't at the end of the day. We do basics, wardrobe staples really well. Denim is one of our best-selling categories, and I'm actually currently working on a new denim range, like a more premium elevated denim, which I'm really excited about. And we just get a lot of inspo from our community. For example, just recently we released some pieces in a leopard print, and we launched it in I think it was in May. I think it was this month. And there were a few pieces that I wore to Coachella in April, and we'd planned that, way back in last year. And I finally got to wear it to Coachella this year, and we released it, and everyone absolutely loved it. And our community were singing their praises, that they're obsessed with this leopard print. So I'm constantly learning off our community. Okay, there's a huge part of our community that love leopard print. So we kind of listen to everyone's feedback. We're very open to having people tell us what they hope to come out with. I'll often post in our Fate Society Facebook group or on our Instagram, what are you hoping that we come out with? I love getting feedback. So that's definitely made our job a lot easier, getting that community feedback and not feeling the pressure as a brand to jump on the latest micro trend, because I actually don't know how people do that, because we certainly can't. I'm going to do one more question for this bonus episode. Someone has asked, what do you do when there is a manufacturing error? That's a really good question. And I think this all comes down to relationship building. A lot of people will often ask me, who's your manufacturer? Or can I have the details of your manufacturer? And when it comes to manufacturing anything, not just clothing, but if you're doing, pencil cases or lipstick tubes or packaging or anything, a lot of your business will involve relationship building. And it's so important to really prioritize relationship building when you're wanting to start a business, because when stuff goes wrong, things go wrong all the time in business. That's just life. And that includes when you're manufacturing stuff. And when something goes really wrong, you want to have a good relationship in place that you have fostered over however long you've been working together, so that as a team of two businesses working together, when something goes wrong, you can come to a resolution together. So what do we do when things go wrong when it comes to manufacturing? We've really only had two things go wrong, two styles go wrong to the point of we couldn't sell them. And we turned those into positive things on social media, which if you follow me or you follow Fate, you might have seen. A couple of years back, we made some corsets, and the straps were... we didn't do an adjustable slider on the strap, which is totally my fault, but I was trying to make them really seamless. And so the straps, because it was kind of a thick, silky feel fabric, it didn't really have much stretch. And so the straps were perfect on some people, then they were too long on others, and they kind of fell off the side of your shoulder. And then we got the stock, I didn't catch on to this problem until we got the bulk stock. And we thought, what are we going to do? So I just jumped on our TikTok and Instagram reel one day, and I just kind of made a video being I have totally stuffed up these corsets. This is my fault. So we're just going to be putting them in people's orders just as a little gift with purchase. And I kind of made that video as an educational video, and just to kind of laugh at ourselves and, say that sometimes shit happens in business and you just got to make light out of a bad situation. I don't know what other brands would do in that kind of instance. Some very well may just throw them in the bin, but that didn't feel right for us to do. And we also thought that if someone did get one of these corsets and the shoulder strap was a little bit too long, you could very easily have someone make the strap shorter or take it to a seamstress. I just didn't want to take them all to a seamstress and get them to fix it all, because it would have taken forever and cost a lot of money. So we put up this video just to kind of make light of a negative situation. And I didn't think it through properly. I didn't say, if you want one, enter this code or whatever. I kind of just said, we're just going to be chucking them in random orders. And as a team, we decided we're just going to put them in orders where people have ordered a top, or they've ordered a dress where we could kind of guess what size they would be. If they've ordered a size 14, other top will give them the 14 in the corset. And to my surprise, that video absolutely went viral, or like mini viral. And then we had everyone ordering on the website. We had people emailing, being like, please, I want one of the corsets, because they were really nice. Like there was just a slight chance that the strap was maybe going to be long on some people, like just depending on how your shoulders were. And so it turned into this like really positive thing, and everyone was DMing us and emailing us saying, I want one of the corsets. I just placed an order. I was like, oh my goodness. And so we did that again this year with a red dress that we were meant to come out with at Christmas time. The dress was double lined and the inner lining was sewn to the outside, you know, when like your lining is attached. But because the inner lining was obviously shorter than the outer part of the dress, which is what you want, but it was sewn together as kind of pulling the bottom of the dress up and underneath itself. It was like puckering. And again, like I went to social media and said, look, we've stuffed up these beautiful dresses and we were meant to launch them in December, but we've held on to them thinking, what are we going to do? And we did the same thing again, where we gave them away for free, but this time we got people to use a code with their size in it. And each code only had a certain amount of uses. So let's say, for example, if we had 30 size 12 dresses, we made like 30 of the size 12 code. And again, like they all went in a heartbeat because it was a really easy fix for the customers. They just had to cut the outer lining away from the inner, and then the problem was resolved. But those are like the 2 times that we've had where things have gone so wrong to the point of not being able to sell them. We've had tiny little things go wrong, you know, things that have been stickered incorrectly, like the wrong barcode or whatever. And then it's just like a manual process of us having to fix them, put on the correct stickers or barcodes or whatever it is. And you know what, like these things just happen. And I think if your processes with manufacturing, as detailed as they can be, and sampling especially, and I know I've spoken about this a lot in other episodes, but just making sure like you're doing that pre-production sample before it's going into production. And then once your bulk is done, getting that pre-shipment sample, because then you're just pulling a piece from the bulk. And if there's something wrong with it, you'll be able to pick up on it before the bulk shipment comes to you. And then if you are noticing something going wrong, it's then, you know, having that relationship with your manufacturers where you can say, hey, like I've noticed this is wrong. What are we going to do about this? Because we've had that happen a lot of times where like the bulk has turned out wrong, but it's been, you know, the manufacturer's fault for whatever reason, a cutting issue, hardware, like lots of zipper and button issues we've had over the years. But that all comes back to having a strong relationship that you built and trust between yourself and your manufacturer, so that you can negotiate and say, okay, like, you know, this is completely your fault, or it's half your fault. Like this is just when it all comes down to that relationship that you have, and hopefully being able to come to a resolution together to redo the product or fix the product before it gets sent out to you in bulk. But anyway, this has actually turned out to be kind of a long bonus episode, and I better stop here because Xander's not here with me because I'm at home. And I know for a fact, if we were sitting in the studio right now, he'd be doing a signal to me to be like, okay, that's enough for the bonus. But anyway, that is it for today's bonus, and I'll be back next week with my main episode.